Hello, and thanks for tuning in. So today I'm going to be cooking some goulash. As you know, the kids are coming back tomorrow, and one of the things they really do like is one of the dishes that I make for them is the goulash, and they love that dish. So I'm going to surprise them with it. So I already have everything ready. I have my pot here. Let me heat it up. Put it up on high. Now, one of the things that I love to use is the avocado oil, because it can withstand heat up to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really great if you're doing, high temperature cooking, which I want to do with this meat that I'm using for the goulash. So I'm just waiting for this to heat up a little bit. While I'm waiting for that, I just wash the mushrooms. Yeah, just getting the pure of these mushrooms. All the soil that's on there. Just getting it off, and then what I'll be doing is chopping them up. It's a relatively easy dish to make. It really doesn't take a long time. This is ready. I'm going to throw that in. Just turn this down a bit. Throw that in. Some oil. What I also like to use is the extra virgin garlic olive oil. Now this I found at Trader Joe's. You can just pick this up at Trader Joe's. I think that's the only place that I've really seen where they have. And the reason why I do that is just for a little bit of that garlic taste. I do like that. So, I'm going to throw this in. This meat over here. Now I bought a whole bunch of meat because we're also going to be having some friends over. So, have to see how many I'm using. Now at this point I'm not adding any salt or any kind of spices. What I really want to do is brown the meat and get all that juice out of there. So got that going. soon you'll notice how all the water is going to start coming out of the meat. But I want to keep it on high. There we go. I want to keep it on high so that it can all cook off. Okay, let me just put this guy. Put up an onion. That'll come in afterwards once I have all that meat cooked off. Okay. Now I don't want to chop this too small because it is going to, cook itself once it's in there. So I think that'll be that size. Okay, onions done. Let's see here, our meat babies. As you can see, I mean, it's a pretty easy dish. Once the meat is in, kind of just let it cook off. That's ready. Let me try this out. There we go. Start chopping meat babies up. And these are just fresh mushrooms. You don't have to use the fresh mushrooms, you can just use them out of the can as well. Sometimes I also like to use the one that they have, the pickled ones, the ones that they already have in the glass jars and they're kind of pickled. What I do is I rinse them off so that it isn't too much of a pickly taste when you add it into the goulash. But you can also use those or just the ones, out of the can. Just rinse them off just to get that juice flavor that's in there off. Because you don't want that taste inside there, really. And really what it is just once this is cooked off, I'm going to add the onions, I'm going to add the mushrooms, season it off with salt and all that other good stuff, which you'll see me doing. So that's just kind of it, really. Yeah, so this is a dish that the kids like. Amongst many others that I make for them. Mommy once made this for them and it didn't quite taste the same. According to them. It was she made it for them when I was over in Germany, and according to them it just wasn't quite the same. So hopefully I don't disappoint. Now Daniel, he doesn't like mushrooms, but you know, he can fish them out. Now, it looks like there's a lot of mushrooms, but what happens with these mushrooms is once they start to cook off, they become a lot smaller. So what you think might look like a lot really isn't. So yeah, I mean, I did a whole bunch of shopping today. I went to, like I said, 3 different, well, I didn't mention it, but I went to 3 different food stores. Again, each one has their product which I like to purchase. So the refrigerator is full, the pantry is full, and needs to say also spent a lot of money to get everything filled up. So I still have this on high because I really want, I don't want this to be simmering. Later on I want it to simmer. And the reason why I like to make goulash the day before or 2 days before, you know, the longer it sits and marinates, the better it tastes. So I figured I'll prepare it now. And will be well marinated by the time we get to eat it. I mean, this is basically all it is, you know, it's just a matter of doing the mushrooms. Again, like I said, you don't have to chop up the mushrooms yourself. You can already buy it. And the reason why I'm using this amount of mushrooms as well is because there's a lot of meat. You know, normally, if we weren't having guests come over either, I wouldn't be cooking this amount of meat just for the 4 of us. And then really all that's left is, you know, you can decide on whether you want potatoes, whether you prefer to have rice, whether you prefer to have any kind of noodles, you know, with this dish. And usually, as a side, I have salad. You know, make a salad as a side dish. So we're just about done with this, which is nice. I'll go over some of the spices that I just kind of use. My wife also likes it when it is, you know, it has a little bit of a kick to it. So I use red pepper flakes. I add those as well. Not too many, but just enough so you kind of, you know, get a little hint of spiciness. Not too much though. Now in Europe, well, in Germany for instance, they don't really go too much for the spicy stuff. In Germany that is. Okay, so that's kind of all ready for later. No, that's done. Okay. What else can go away as well? Okay, so really what I'm waiting for now is just for this here to cook off. As you can see, it's still going to take a little while to cook that off. All this, basically all this liquid that's inside here is going to have to wait till it's all cooked off. And then really, like I said, I have these red chili flakes. As you can see it, the red chili flakes. This is what I add just to put a little bit of, just give it a little bit of kick. I also throw some bay leaves in. Then we have, you know, sea salt. The kosher kind is a little more grainy, which I like. Some pepper, and then some what's this stuff called? Bouillon. So for this size, normally if it's, you know, a smaller amount, I only use one. For the amount that we have now, I'm using two. And really, just water. Once this is all cooked off and ready, I'm going to be adding water, and the water just enough so it covers the meat, and just a little bit more. So that's all ready. And then just some tomato paste. And the reason why I use tomato paste, you find some people using either flour or they might use potato powder, kind of puree thing, you know, to thicken. You just want to thicken the water or the sauce a little bit. And I use tomato paste. You know, I'm not going to use this whole thing. I might take a heap, tablespoon, just put it in, and that helps thicken up a little bit. And then I let it simmer. Once I'm all through with this, I'll just let it simmer, and you know, take it from there. But this is going to take a while to cook off still. So I'm just waiting for that. So for now, I have everything ready. And I'll just have to wait till the next step. Okay, so we're at that point now where the water, it is all, all the water has been taken out. Now it's just slowly browning. Now I have kept this on high until this point. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it down between medium and high. So it's not a medium, because what I want to do is I want to add the onions at this point. And there we go. Spread them around. And just get them to kind of brown a little bit, not too much. Just keep stirring on it. And at this point what I'll do is I'll add salt as well. Put on red pepper flakes just to give it a little bit of a kick, not too much. My bay leaves, put a couple of bay leaves in there. Add some pepper. That's kind of it at this point. And I'll also add the mushrooms. Now the mushrooms themselves also have liquid in them. So you kind of want to let that cook off as well. A little. And you see, even though it's falling out at this point, it really doesn't matter. It won't be as much as this. It looks like it's really full. But again, there's a lot of liquid in the mushrooms as well. And that'll all cook off. And it won't be quite as full as this. Okay. Leave it at that for now. Take this washed off and get out of the way. Okay. Again, I still just have it on medium heat. Not medium, above medium, between medium and high. And just once in a while give it a little bit of a stirring. And you'll actually notice when you do this, you'll actually see the juices of the mushroom in the bottom. And if they cook a little bit, this thing will go on. So the bouillon is really what's left. This is the bouillon. Let me open up the tomato paste. Okay. And like I said, I don't use the whole thing. Just take a tablespoon and we'll use that eventually. But yeah, that's really all there is to it. That's it. And then once I have cooked this off, I'm not going to cook it off completely. I'm just going to add my water to it. And just going to add my water to it. And really the trick is just to let it simmer. You just want to let it simmer for, you know, on low. I mean, I put the lid on sideways, so let some evaporate, and I let it simmer for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, very low, just let it simmer. And that's the whole thing behind it. Turn it off and let it sit. I mean, the longer it really sits in its juices, the better it tastes. And that's why I like to do it the day before. But, you know, you can also eat it now, but it always tastes better the next day. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the water. Like I said, I just cover the meat. So the meat is covered. At this point, if you like, turn it up high again just to get it going. And then at this point I also add the bouillon. You know, beef bouillon. And that's kind of it. And once the water starts to boil again, I'll turn it down to medium, just until the bouillon itself has what do you say, melted kind of into the water. And then I'll turn it on to low and let it simmer. And then after about half an hour simmering, I'll throw the tomato paste in there, Again, just to thicken it up a little bit and let it simmer a little longer. And hey presto, you're done. So prep wise, it doesn't take long at all. It's really just what takes the longest is allowing it to simmer and letting it cook. Okay, and that's basically it. So I thank you for watching, and until my next video, keep your side stand, or as we say in America, your kickstand up and the rubber side down. I'll talk to you soon.